Okay, so I'm out at the moment. We've come to the moors. Part of, if you can hear any puffing in the background, it's my dog. He's been running around and it's been lovely out here. Um, Beautiful day on Bank Holiday Monday. Managed to find a spot where there was no one else around. It's been beautiful. Basically, the reason why I'm doing a video is because I've got my little crib sheet here because I don't have the best memory. So sometimes I have to refer to my notes when I'm talking. So what I wanted to talk about today was the intricacies in separating anxiety symptoms and trauma and unresolved issues from the past. But I also want to interweave this with an experience that I had in a Facebook anxiety group. So I used to belong to that anxiety recovery forum that's run by Drew. He's that anxiety guy. Very good. Everything was really good. I've been in the group a couple of times actually, and I rejoined this time to. Well, actually, I told Drew that the reason why I was rejoining was because I wanted to support other people. That was my main intention. Also, though, I did get some support myself when I was in the group, so it did work two ways. But my ultimate aim was to support others, really, to be there for others. My own background is in psychology. I've been training for the last 4 years as a counsellor, so I actually have my own clients. With many of my clients, I teach them exposure response prevention, which is very much like the method that is being taught in the group. It's all about practicing non-resistance, not fighting, trying to accept all sensations and not carrying out compulsions if a sufferer has OCD. So I've done a lot of work in that field and I've been doing that for the last 4 years. I've also got a degree in psychology, which I really loved because psychology is my favourite subject. That was, but I have got a degree in law. That's not so much my favourite subject, and I am a qualified teacher too. So yeah, so basically, counselling, psychology is my background, and I rejoined the group to try and be a support, as I've said. But at one point, I also had my own post that went in there, and this particular post that I put up was about feeling really anxious and basically feeling quite very down to the extent of really having suicide ideation. And there were some responses which were really good. They were very, very supportive. And I said that I use the method that has been highlighted in the group, which basically follows the Claire Weekes method of kind of like, again, non-resistance, trying to accept the whole of how you feel. I did that and I actually did feel some relief from it, and I was explaining that in the group. So yeah, so I did have my own post that went in there. But then a short while ago, things started to go a bit down the tubes, to put it bluntly. I try to support somebody that in the group with compassion, by saying to her that sometimes, when there's family to consider, and think there are other variables sometimes in life that can make a difference. She was suffering from a lot of anxiety, and I basically said to her that there are times where life can be really hard, and that you have to have some compassion for yourself, and that we are human. We still have human emotions, no matter how you can practice the method of non-resistance, as I'm going to call it now. It's probably the easiest way. But sometimes life can present us with challenges, and other people are important in our lives. So I said about compassion. This was a bit frowned upon in the group, but yeah, but I come from a compassionate background. I think it's important sometimes. So somebody else posted in the group, and they were talking about unresolved childhood issues. And I responded by talking about trauma therapy, about how it can be different. There can be a confusion in a way between the two methods. Trauma therapy is all about kind of feeling safe and secure and soothing the nervous system. Whereas this method, which is more CBT orientated, is more about full acceptance, going with it, not fighting, becoming limp, allowing it to wash over you, and it can be quite hard. The thing is, what I did say was, I believe it is always possible to recover. I did say that. And that was that. Until somebody came along, a moderator of the group, and became really belligerent and hostile and had a go at me, telling me that I had no right to say that there was a special subset of people, which I had not said. And that this group, which is that Anxiety Recovery Forum, is all based on Claire Weekes. Well, Claire Weekes is dead and has been dead for a long time. And since then, there's been other modalities. There's been other things that have come along to support people with anxiety. You know, yes, the method works. But you have to be aware that not everybody is the same. And I'm always saying that. We're all unique. Anyway, this particular moderator said that I was rude and I was doing harm. Well, that has never been my intention, to do any harm. Obviously. I couldn't believe what he said. You know, it was so nasty. I was only trying to help. The fact that I might have a slightly different viewpoint shouldn't be so, I'm going to smack you in the face over it. You know, wow. What an arsehole. That's basically what I think of him, you know. Anyway, I got blocked from the group for speaking up, for speaking about trauma, for saying that sometimes it can be a challenge to try and apply this method when you suffer from trauma. And that, I mean, he basically has got this whole idea that I'm somehow saying that people with trauma are different and special. No, that's not what I was trying to say. All I was trying to say was that sometimes you have to do other things. And the point is that he's a bully, yeah? He is such a bully to bully one person like that and then to get other people to agree with him. So his words were nasty and cruel. And anyway, my belief is that moderators are meant to be neutral. They aren't meant to gag people who are exploring ways of helping others. And this whole kind of this way or the highway is controlling. Yeah? The group should be a safe place without fear of judgment. And even a difference of opinion should be respected. So, his sanctimonious post to me and his way of shutting me up has been used so much before to people who have been traumatised. It's wrong. He shouldn't be allowed to do it. But he was allowed to do it. I did respond to him. I did retaliate. I gave back as good as he gave me. Told him to get off my back. Well, he did that all right. He, or somebody else, don't know. I don't actually really care. Blocked me from the group. Do I really want to be in a group like that? Well, from my point of view, maybe not. But I will say that that Anxiety Recovery Forum is a really, really good group. And that anxiety guy, Drew, is amazing. He's supported and helped so many people and made a difference to many people's lives. But the point, what happened to me shouldn't have happened to me. That was wrong in so many different ways. So I validate that part of myself that speaks out. I always will do. And I'm trying to refuse to internalise other people's opinions of me, such as a few that are in that particular group. I know that what I said was right and applicable at the time. So learning to absorb and not absorb toxicity like that, despite being a really sensitive person that I am, is quite hard, especially when you do come from trauma background yourself, like I do. So what happened yesterday in that group, it really hurt. It's not the first time I've been gagged. It probably won't be the last time either. And the other thing that really kind of gets to me too is that Drew himself has explained about the difficulties with trauma. So he has highlighted that himself. He has done a video with a trauma specialist talking about the need for safety. He's done that too. And to add to this, he also asked me to contribute by writing about the complicating factors in the recovery from anxiety, which I did for him to go towards his book. I don't know whether he's used it. I won't know until reading his book. Maybe not. But I fully outlined to him in my writing about the difficulties with trauma. See, in my line of work, I use a person-centered approach, and that requires being non-judgmental. What happened to me in that anxiety recovery forum was not non-judgmental. It was mean, it was nasty, it was hostile, and it was cruel. When I was only there to help. I might be different. That doesn't mean to say that I'm not accepted or shouldn't be accepted. So that anxiety recovery forum is a good group. I'm not trying to say that it's bad, that you shouldn't join it. If you have trauma, it might be a little bit harder. If you're someone like me that doesn't always toe the line, harder still. If you want to go with everybody else's view, the one-size-fits-all thing, which most therapists and psychologists in this country do not adhere to. But anyway, if you want to go with the one-size-fits-all, which is CBT/Claire Weekes, that's cool. But basically, I think there's an airplane somewhere. But basically, that anxiety recovery forum is great. Drew is great, but sometimes how they treat people who are slightly different, as in myself, is not so good. Yeah, so that's what I really wanted to say today, and I hope that this video will be well received, and I'm not trying to say to people not to join that anxiety recovery forum, because in my mind, out of all the anxiety groups that exist on Facebook, it is the very best. It's amazing. There are some fantastic people in that group, and Drew is a great guy, although I think that sometimes he listens to the wrong people, and that maybe the most sincere people and most authentic people are right in front of his nose that he's deciding to ignore. But that's okay. Join it. Find out for yourself. But I'm quite happy as I am. So if you'd like to get in contact with me about trauma and anxiety, then please do so. I'm here, and I welcome you, and I won't judge you. Thank you.